Haskell Park has been a part of Rockford almost from the beginning. It was originally planted as the West Side Public Square in the 1830s. The land was given to the city by Dr. George Haskell and his brother-in-law John Edwards. George Haskell and his family settled in Rockford in 1838. He remained here for 28 years, helping the new city grow. He found a passion in growing fruit trees and was successful for many years. Haskell Park still remains, though it has seen many changes over the years. Postcards from the late 1800s and early 1900s show a beautiful place with an elaborate fountain located toward the center. Children used the park as a playground, and couples would use the benches as a courting place. The fountain itself became quite newsworthy in June 1902. The newspapers from June 13th tell the story of a man who was passing through the park late one evening. Just as he was passing the fountain, a strange noise caused him to look at the water. There in the moonlight he saw a sight that nearly paralyzed him with fright. A shadowy, shimmering form seemed to rise from the water. At first it was a dark mist, but then the man was horrified to see it take on a human shape. Though it had no distinguishing features, he saw what he imagined to be skeletal hands as the specter reached its arms towards him. This broke the man's paralysis, and he bellowed in fear while he began to run through the park as if the very devil himself was chasing him. He stated in the interview that he didn't slow down until he reached his house. The man's friends all teased him viciously about the story until others started to experience the same ghostly shape, always reaching out for whoever braved the park late in the evening. Later stories claim that the spirit eventually freed itself from the fountain and would chase visitors to the boundaries of the park. The phantom contained no distinguishable features except the hands, which were always described as skeletal. The black swirling mass always originated from the fountain and was said to rise from the water to follow people. As the stories grew, people started to bypass the center of the park. They claimed that they would see the black mass lurking behind the trees inside the perimeter of the park. Though no one could identify the spirit, there are several possibilities for the haunting. One is the tragic tale of James and Kate French. They were a couple who lived in Rockford in 1896. They were married in 1890 and opened a confectionery shop at the intersection of Green and South Main Streets. James became jealous of his attractive wife, and this eventually led to the breakup of their marriage. Kate left James and moved back into her mother's home on Cedar Street. James attempted to reconcile and seemed to become crazed by Kate's refusals. On July 20th, 1896, Kate left her mother's house to visit a sick friend. James questioned a small neighbor girl, who told him the name of the friend Kate went to visit. James knew where the lady's house was, and he also knew that Kate would pass by Haskell Park on her return. James decided to wait for her there. Later witnesses would testify they saw James pacing back and forth in the park for hours as he waited for Kate. Though at first no one knew the reason why he appeared so agitated, his motive soon became all too clear. When Kate finally did leave her friend's home, James attacked her and shot her. Kate escaped him and raced for her life up the street before she ran into a house to seek help. But James pursued her into the home, where their life and death struggle ended. Neighbors were drawn out of their homes by the gunshots and Kate's screams, and by the time James ran from the house, there were over 100 men waiting to chase him down. They caught up with him at the Rock River. James was tried for the murder of Kate and sentenced to death by hanging. His execution was carried out on June 11, 1897, in the yard of the Winnebago County Jail. James never showed any remorse for killing his wife and even told visitors that he was glad that Kate was dead. Maybe all the energy caused by his hatred for his wife resulted in his spirit wandering the place where he once waited for her. Another possibility of the haunting comes from the suggestion that Haskell Park lies over a Native American burial ground, and the spirits of those buried there can find no rest. Psychics Sarah Boker and Paul Smith first came in contact with those lost souls on a recent bus tour. They both sense that the spirits that wander the area are looking desperately for the place where their bodies once rested. Sarah Boker explained that these people were laid to rest here many years ago, and for hundreds of years they rested in peace. But when the settlers came, they removed the bodies from these once sacred burial grounds. Now these spirits are no longer at rest. Sarah stated they don't know where to go or what to do. They will be trapped here until something can be done to help release them. Thank you for watching today's video. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. What paranormal or crime-related mystery would you like to see next? I hope you all have a great day.